Well, hey guys, welcome to Star Wars on High. Thank you for stopping by. We are back. And even though it is slower for Star Wars right now, not as many shows or new books coming out, that does not mean we don't have fun news to talk about because there's always something going on in the Star Wars fandom. And today we're going to be talking about a topic that is really interesting to me, and it's really Disney's attempts at making the sequel trilogy flow better with the original trilogy and flow together more cleanly as a story. And we've seen attempts to do this through the comics, like the Vader series, where Vader is investigating Exegol and Palpatine's plan. We've seen this in some of the new announced canon books. For example, there's a Luke and Lando book coming out that takes place after the original trilogy, and Exegol is referenced in the synopsis, as well as Ochi, a Sith assassin. So you see some of that, connection right there. There's also what we see in The Bad Batch and Mandalorian. There's a lot of cloning focus going on in both of those shows, and I definitely think the Empire's interest in cloning is likely related to Palpatine's experiments with Snoke. And so recently we had a new canon reference book come out, Secrets of the Sith, and it goes into detail on a lot of different Sith topics. And one of them is the Rule of Two. Now I'm going to link Eckhart's Ladder video up here where he dives into this maybe in a little more detail than I will. But the idea of the Rule of Two was that there was only ever two Sith, and we heard this referenced in The Phantom Menace. And in a lot of other canon we've heard, or now legends, we've heard this explained, like the Bane trilogy, Darth Bane trilogy. The basic idea was that the Sith in large numbers spent so much time, looking for power and killing each other, it didn't really allow them to focus fully on the dark side and growing more powerful in those abilities there. They spent too much time fighting each other, and it just didn't make sense. They limited it down to two. And why Darth Bane is canon, in fact, there's a picture of him in this novel, the idea of Rule of Two, beyond the mention of it, has not really been fully kind of flushed out. Well, what this new book has done is it's connected it to the Dyad, so the connection we saw between Rey and Kylo in The Rise of Skywalker. And the idea is the Dyad was known, and it was seen in ancient Sith temples and in drawings, and the Rule of Two kind of came out of that. They were looking to form strong bonds of two that could give them those Dyad powers, the kind of hyper connection in the Force that would allow them to do crazy powerful things. That's the general idea of it. And again, there's more detailed breakdowns. And a lot of fans have pretty mixed feelings on this. And so I want to tell you guys what I think. I have kind of two lines of thought. One of which is I'm actually, as I've said, pretty supportive of Disney attempting to make the transition from original trilogy to sequel trilogy better. I think it can be rewarding, and if done right, it will be awesome, and I'm going to give it a chance. For example, that new canon book with Luke and Lando, I'm going to read it. I hope it's awesome and gets me excited and helps make those movies flow, better. And even though I don't personally love them, I know there's a lot of sequel fans out there who are probably excited for that as well. On the other hand, this one to me feels a little unnecessary. So the Rule of Two is something that has been not heavily explained in canon, but I think the general idea was understood by the community. And by adding this dyad connection, I think you kind of limit yourself in future storytelling. So if the idea is that the Sith had the Rule of Two because of a misunderstanding of the dyad, how does that impact the Old Republic or the High Republic? How does it impact the way you want to tell stories in that era? Are we going to see a lot more now of folks trying to make this double connection, the dyad and the Force? Or is it going to truly be that, well, they thought it was a dyad, but hundreds of years later, they totally forgot what that meant, and it was truly Darth Bane's vision for the Rule of Two? To me, it just doesn't feel like it really enhances anything. Because if the dyad was this important, I would have loved to hear about it sooner. I would have loved to hear about it in the Clone Wars, or maybe maybe we're going to hear about it in an eventual Darth Plagueis book, or, a Palpatine prequel that we're going to get in new canon. Maybe that's how they're going to introduce this further. But we didn't see it in the movies or any of the shows. And so to me, it was introduced in one movie, and so I don't really connect to the dyad. And I know what some fans will say. They'll say, well, the original trilogy, we didn't know jack about the Emperor or anything about the Sith, and we were fine with it then. We didn't require more explanation. And I agree to an extent, except for I think the prequels did give us an answer, and it was really well done, just my opinion. Why the dyad, I feel like, was, needed more time to flesh out. It should have been talked about in the first movie or second movie, but just coming in the third, and, given a title really in the end fight almost, it just didn't really make me feel that passionate about it. So I don't think this ruins Star Wars. I don't think it breaks everything. I just don't think this one is, to me right now, a story enhancer. It feels like it might be a limiter. But we'll see. They might use it really well, really creatively in future stories and future tales, and I might change my mind completely. But let me know what you guys think down below. I'd love to get your guys' thoughts. I know it can be really, mixed when it comes to these sorts of topics, but at the end of the day, I'm positive about Star Wars. And some people will call me a shill or, just a giant Disney fan. But to me, I think, giving these stories time to mature, giving, opportunities for Disney to hit home runs, I want to do that because I've been really pleased with a lot of the work they've done. Visions is just something recently that came out that was amazing, right? Book of Boba Fett coming out soon, Mando, Bad Batch. I mean, there's so many things, the High Republic, that I love that have come out of this new era. And look, Star Wars to me is a hobby. It's a passion. It's fun. And so when a new project is announced, I'm excited. And will it disappoint me? Maybe. But at the end of the day, I don't like to look at all these things as purely negative or purely bad because then the hobby's dead for me. The fun is gone. And I tend to be someone who is going to give it a try. I'm going to give it a try, and I hope they blow me away with the stories they do tell. I don't know, guys, just my quick thoughts and summary. Again, you can watch some other videos that go into more detail. You can check out the book yourself. It is only in hardcover. I thought I could pick it up on kind of a Kindle version so I could take screenshots, etc. But it seems to be only in physical. So I might pick it up in the near future and give you guys some more thoughts on it. But for now, that's just what I wanted to talk about. So appreciate all your support. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Come check out our Thursday night live streams with Star Wars Timeline and interact with us and give you guys, our thoughts live. So again, let me know what you think down below. Looking forward to seeing you guys again soon. Hope you have a great rest of your week.